I think we've covered the topic of what happens to Boris Johnson next as being pretty much almost covered to death by not only me, but by pretty much everyone covering this topic. So we're probably really going to sort of retread old ground at this point. Um, but I found this to be very, very interesting in Conservative Home because, to be honest, if you are Rishi Sunak and you read this headline, this isn't good news for you. This isn't good news for you at all. And it is the response, 'cause as we've said, one of the big reasons that very often I go and have a look at Conservative Home is because it very often regularly um, goes and reports to the non-parliamentary party of the Conservative Party. It takes regular, shall we say, attendance of what their views are, what they think, asks them questions, and to be honest, as we've said in the past, it has very, very much been almost spot on of the money of predicting certainly the future direction of the Conservative Party. I mean, back in the day when I was saying, "Oh yeah, the final two of the leadership contest are going to be Liz Truss and Rishi Sunak," was coming from the polls that were being done here a long, long, long ago, but even before the Conservative leadership election even started. So it has been very much a predictor in what people think of sort of the direction and even sort of, non-parliamentary Conservative Party members think of the Conservative Party, in which direction they think it's going to be going. So, to be honest, this headline is not going to make good reading for Rishi Sunak, but also should be bear in mind also maybe good reading as well at the same time. It's difficult really to interpret, to be honest, these results. It really is, but we'll get into them in a moment. But before we do that, of course, please do remember to click on the like, share, and subscribe button. And of course, down below, there are links to my Patreon page, the one of today's link called Buy Me Coffee, where you can all buy me coffee. There is the YouTube thank you button, and of course, the Pony Club as well. And of course, the Patreon page. I think I've already mentioned that, but just in case, that you can also help support the channel. And like I say, you can also help support the channel by remembering to click on the like and share button as well. Like I say, that helps out as well. So, oh my. Like I say, if you are Rishi Sunak and you are, waking up to your breakfast in bed, and someone were to, should we say, send you this link? Because obviously, Conservative Home's a blog. But let's say you were Rishi Sunak and you were scanning through your daily media intake, and you came across this on Conservative Home. Well, this would be very, very difficult reading for you, and it wouldn't be spelling difficult times for you. Now, of course, remember, Boris Johnson has resigned, but as of yet, Sunak has not stopped Johnson standing again. Now, I think Boris Johnson's not going to stand at the next general election. I really don't think he does. But maybe at the one after, or maybe the one after that, then maybe. I've said before, I don't think we've seen the end of certainly Boris Johnson in politics, maybe commenting on politics as he is now a Daily Mail columnist. Although how long that will last is debatable, considering I think Alistair Campbell said a couple of days ago, or maybe a couple of weeks ago now, he said that his spies in the Daily Mail had said that there's a lot of discontent about Boris, that his columns are awful, that they're having to be constantly rewritten, which again, if you may remember from when we covered Johnson's time at The Spectator, almost very similar, almost very, very similar. So how long his contract's going to be there for at the Daily Mail may not be long, but it might be long enough to maybe last him out because, as we said, Conservative Home takes, should we say, attendance of regular Conservative opinions. And of course, this is the big news asking, should Boris Johnson be allowed as a candidate at the next general election? And here's the thing, 50% said yes, Boris Johnson should be allowed to stand at the next election. That goes to show you that even though Johnson has lost his parliamentary support in the parliamentary party, in the non-parliamentary party, he still has a lot of support. that 50% is very, very worrying. But of course, over what was it, 43% said he shouldn't. And you're almost at that point in an almost a straight deadlock. And even the privilege committee hasn't really affected um affected, well, it has affected it in some way, because the last time they did this, it was 71% rather than 50%. So there has been some change from the privilege committee. That's almost certain. But still, you've got over 50% saying yes, he should be allowed to stand at the next election. And this is very, very reminiscent of Trump. There were a lot of, at least, shall we say, hopeful Republicans thinking, "Excellent, now Trump's lost. He can go away. We can sort of move on from the era of Trump." Um, However, if you've seen those polls, you'll know that Trump still has a lot of support in the Republican Party, which is leading to a lot of people think he's going to win the nomination, but then lose the general election. Now, of course, our system is different, but if you've got 50% saying that yes, Boris Johnson should still be allowed to run as an MP at the next election, while you've got, well, 43, the Conservative Party is a bit split, but it is still very, very much in the mind of there are a lot of pro Boris people out there. And this is only the next election. We're talking 2023, 2024, probably. But what about the election after that? Or the one after that? There's a lot of potential here. I think after for Boris's return, I really think there is. I think he would probably want to go back, potentially to be being an MP, probably not to be leading the party. But if there was a good Conservative leader appeared, and you welcomed Boris back into the party and you used him properly, as we've always said, Boris Johnson's big advantage is his cheerleading, and of course his ability to go out and give good speeches to rally the crowds. It's not beyond the realm of possibility that he might be brought back in that sort of position. Whether he would again maybe get to be prime minister, that's it. Almost, I think, almost at this point is an entirely different question. But I do not think he would be allowed ever again to be prime minister. I think they've learned their lesson in that regard. But it seems to me that there is still a very wide appetite for Boris Johnson returning. Maybe not this election, but in the future, certainly returning as an MP. So, as always, thank you very much for watching. And of course, as always, please remember to click on the like, share, and subscribe button. And of course, as always, we'll see you all next time.